Hello. All right. Can you guys see me, hear me okay? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My hair is whack. What the hell? Oh, well, that's okay. Sunday already. How's everybody's week been? I'm just getting myself set up here. Hello, Silver. Welcome. There we go. Oh, yeah. I hope you guys are doing well also. Let me know if the audio and stuff is okay, because we're actually in my office now. And, yeah, as you can see, stream noon, scheduled. I didn't make a short or anything this week. I have to update my to-do board. But yeah, this is my home office. There's all my clutter on my shelf. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I have a Blue Album poster. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like the natural look. Because, I mean, I do too. And some days I have the energy to put the effort in to my look and my hair, and some days I don't. So today is one of these days where apparently I don't. Oh, well, that's, you know what, that's just the way it is over here, and that's okay. All right. Yeah, so this is a little different. We're streaming from my computer in my office from my webcam with my, you can't really see it, but I'm getting used to this whole, like, everything being backwards kind of thing. So I got my microphone here. I'm going to just double check that everything's tightened up, everything's good. All right. Okay, how's everybody doing? Yeah, I did brush it though. I did. It just didn't, you know, it didn't want to stay brushed, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. All right. Yes, Constance, you can ask questions. We just got started. And the security should be a little bit better for this stream. I have it so that you have to be subbed for at least 24 hours before you can chat. So we're going to see if that prevents some of the issues that we had on Wednesday. Oh yeah, these, I was going to show you these paintings I have in the back. Those are mine. I made those a very long time ago. Yeah, sub mode is better. I agree. I mean, it was fun, like, to, you know, kind of play along with the trolls, to kind of troll them back, one or two people, but not when it was like half of the stream. To be fair though, that stream ended up with 6,000 views, and those people that were on there just to try and crap all over me, they didn't realize that they were actually like helping my channel grow. So I kind of am taking it as a compliment in a way. All right. So today I have my One World Tarot. I have just the regular Rider-Waite Tarot. And I have our Moonology Oracle cards. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the paintings. Thanks. I made those, it would have been in 2018. Those ones, yeah. I have other tarot themed ones. They're hanging up in my bedroom. I'll have to show you guys a picture at some point. Sorry guys, my hair is just really, really bugging me. Why is it doing this? Anyways, I do have kind of sensory issues, and so small things like that, it was tickling my face. That does bug. So there, I think we're better. There. All right. Constance is asking, how long will I be able to stay in my current living situation? Yeah, barrettes would probably be a good idea, Rose Blue. I usually have bobby pins all over my house, but not, apparently not on my desk. All right, so Constance Campbell, how long will I be able to stay in my current living situation? Okay. Okay, I have your, yeah, there we go. I have your question pinned to the chat so I don't lose it. Rose Blue says, go get 2 bobby pins. It only takes 30 seconds. You're right. I'm going to double check if I have any in my drawer. You know what? I don't, but we're going to go ahead and just tie it up with a scrunchie. How does that sound? There. You know what? Seems fine to me now. And if any little pieces come out, they come out, and it's there. I was just more bothered that it was tickling my face. Now this is a little better. Okay, yeah, this does feel better. There we go. All right. Sorry, Constance, I did not mean to totally interrupt your reading like that. So how long will you be able to stay in your current living situation? Now, Spirit does know the finer details of your living situation. So if you're not comfortable sharing anything in the chat, absolutely do not worry about that. Great. I do have 2 that just fell out, and I'll show them to you in a second. You guys in the chat are very sweet, very encouraging. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. It's weird. Everything's kind of backwards, so I have to sort of get used to that. But we have Knight of Cups and Ace of Cups. So what I'm getting with this one, at least for Knight of Cups, we'll start with him first. I usually see this as some kind of like an attractive offer, at least in this sort of situation. Well, we have our Ace of Cups, which is, this is suggesting like something new, but there's kind of an emotional energy attached to it. So it could be you could be getting an opportunity or an offer to move somewhere else. And maybe, and just because it's emotional doesn't mean it's necessarily heavy or bad, right? It can be exciting. It can be a little overwhelming, you know. But it is like, there is something, I don't know if triggering is the right word, but there is something that it's stirring up something within you when you get this offer. All right, let's see. The Hermit here is suggesting to me like somebody who's living alone. So if this is your current situation, like perhaps you are living on your own right now, we have 6 of Swords next to it. You could be moving from being alone to being like with others, with like a roommate or a friend or something like this. I want to just double check with that Hermit, because the Hermit, it doesn't seem like it's bad energy. It's not like lonely. It's just spending some time on your own. Let's see. Okay, I see your comment saying not alone, but would love to be. Okay, all right. Because you know what? When I clarified our Hermit here, we did get 5 of Cups. This is one of like struggle, of sadness, or of like regrets. So perhaps maybe if you are in a situation where you're living with other people in a home, like you could, or like a home, like a house or whatever. Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, I should have just I should have just moved out, or like I should not have decided to be roommates with this person, or like there's something where you're like, oh, I really regret having this person. Either it's like having them come into my home, or like me deciding to go and live with them. Because at the time you didn't know, there was something that you didn't know. I don't know if like didn't know better is the right way to put it, but there's just something you didn't know everything about when you first, whether it was like signing the lease or just whatever agreement it was, that you had to, sign and confirm when it came to living with these other people. But I like seeing Six of Swords here. So if the goal here is to live alone and away from whatever issues that you've been facing, while living with other people, this will eventually get better. Our Six of Swords is about going from turbulence to calm, right? And I can understand if you like being by yourself, living alone, that it's calmer. Of course, there's less, there's no one else in the house to bother you. There are no other sounds that you're dealing with. You're not dealing with hearing the TV from somebody else's shows. You're not dealing with, other people's pets or anything like that. Now, how long can you stay? Okay. So what should we ask then, Constance? Like, how long are you going to stay in your current situation before you can go have the chance to live on your own? Because I know we did see that that opportunity to do it. I think maybe that's what we'll do. How much longer until she gets that opportunity to, it could be an opportunity to move out even. So let's see. Okay, Seven of Cups when we were estimating time. Guys, do not mind my terrible manicure. I have not had time to paint my nails or anything like that. When we estimate timing, Seven of Cups for me is about 7 months. So how long will I be welcome? Okay, so how long are you going to stay welcome, in the situation where you are now, living with others? So we can look at that. Because we saw maybe 7 months here before that opportunity to move out. So how long will you still be welcome in your current situation? Until you decide you're not. Until you decide that you're done living there. With our Judgment. So I got Page of Wands here. It's as long as, and Page of Pentacles, I should say. So Page of Wands is as long as you are still working and keeping busy, and I'm seeing contributing with housework, etc. And then we have Page of Pentacles for as long as you're still contributing to the rent / mortgage or bills or whatever it is that you've agreed to contribute to. So it's until you decide that you are done. So yeah, you're still welcome there. The energy seems okay. You're still welcome there as long as you keep contributing. And then it's just when you decide that you're done, and that's okay. So maybe about 7 months until that offer to move out. All right. I'm so glad I remembered my water bottle this time. All right. Let's go back up. Silver is wondering if Valentine's Day will go well and if she'll have trouble getting home. Okay. So let's shuffle these. Ooh, that's probably loud. Let me know if that was a little much. what am I trying to say? Office is really echoey. My office is really echoey. Words are tough. Anyway, my office is a little echoey, so let me know if that kind of shuffling is a bit too loud or is a little uncomfortable for you guys. So, Silver's Valentine's Day. You know what? I forgot. I even showed you guys these at the beginning of the stream, and I put them down, and I forgot I even had them. Out of sight, out of mind, apparently. My Moonology cards. So let's do a Moonology first. Valentine's Day will go well, and if Silver will have trouble getting home or not. Let's see. Be bold and make the first move. So, that could be if we are talking Valentine's, and if you maybe have like a certain person in mind that you want some, kind of attention from or something from, saying like you be bold and make the first move. Maybe you call them or you go ask them out for the date if that's, again, like a part of Valentine's Day that you're interested in. Also with be bold and make the first move, like with travel plans, you may need to be a bit proactive. I'm seeing something about calling ahead. Like, let's say you were flying out to somewhere, calling ahead. I don't know if this is a thing people do, but this is just what I'm seeing right here, is like calling ahead and double checking that, hey, I just want to make sure that the flight I booked is supposed to leave at this time. And, are there any weather warnings or are there any concerns like that I need to know about, before I get to the airport, etc. Just making sure that you're double checking everything. Mm-hmm. I also have don't let pride get in your way. Now, if for this Valentine's thing, if there is a certain person that you have in mind that you're interested in, I can understand maybe sometimes why it's hard for people to, to make the first move, regardless of gender. It's not really that important. Because sometimes, like, we want to keep our pride intact. We don't want to get turned down, or, we don't want to be made to feel silly for being vulnerable or for sharing our feelings, etc. Excuse me. There we go. One of my eyelashes was bugging. All right. So it's like, don't worry about looking silly. Like, it's okay for you to make that first move. So let's also get into the tarot. Valentine's Day for Silver. How will Valentine's Day go for Silver? She says, not sure who will be there. Okay. Are you going to a family function? I'm just curious. Some of the energy that I'm seeing here, maybe kind of what I'm picking up. It doesn't necessarily have to be a family function, but I have Judgment and I have Seven of Wands. I'm just saying, okay, you said not exactly, but people will be there. Okay. I'm just saying, some people who are at, like, let's say it's a party or gathering or whatever, like some of the people who are at this function, okay, think of it as like, Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know. My family doesn't really do this, thank God, but some people's families do, where, it's like, we're supposed to be sitting down and celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating Christmas or whatever. Like, why are you guys talking about political stuff? Or like, why are you guys bringing up this? Like, this is totally irrelevant, totally inappropriate for the occasion. Like, why are you guys arguing about that? This is just a heads up that some people at some of the tables might just kind of take it upon themselves to like, I don't want to say start a debate or anything, but the conversation might go into kind of sensitive territory here with that judgment. Some opinionated people there. And then 7 of Wands. Still getting used to my backwards camera here. If you're not comfortable participating, you don't have to. You don't have to, like, you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't have to partake in conversation that you're not comfortable with. You do not have to be put on the defensive. Okay? Now, hang on. Next one I had is Knight of Cups, and I'm going to just pull a little clarifier for that Knight of Cups, because sometimes in our last reading that was like an attractive offer. But this time, sometimes it can also just be like an attractive person that's like expressing interest in you. I want to just double check with this Knight of Cups. What is going on with him? Oh, okay. Interesting. You might, I don't know if this is something you're expecting or not. And like, I don't know if you're single, not single, whatever, but there's something kind of cute here that I'm seeing. Like, okay, first of all, let's just say if, because this is not necessarily written in stone that people are going to, get off topic with the conversations and have things point to sensitive manners, etc. But if it does, there's a person there that's going to be like at your table that he doesn't want to be involved either. And I this energy feels like masculine energy. Okay. He doesn't want to be involved with that kind of talk and stuff either. And what I'm kind of getting is like, he's going to start his own little conversation with you. Like, oh, hey, I don't really like any of that stuff either. Like, hey, what were your weekend plans? Or like, how's your month been? Or how, you'll kind of be able to get away from the other types of, I'm going to say, discourse. If that does, again, like I said, if that comes up, that conversation gets a little bit intense there. But this person that you are like, I'm seeing like, just, yeah, with this meeting, this person here, they'll go to this thing, but they almost didn't. It's going to be one of those things where it's like they almost didn't go because they were feeling nervous. We have our 9 of Swords with anxiety, and then we have our 5 of Cups here with like sadness and regret. So perhaps this person has had a lot of romantic disappointments, and has dealt with their share of like emotional pain and rejections and things like that. So they're going to this thing not really expecting much, okay? But you guys like meet each other and you hit it off. I'm hearing something about intellectual conversation as well. Star. Ooh. It's like you guys would be a really good match for each other. And even if you're not looking for anything like outright romantic at this point, it's still, you and this person still have a very good connection. And like there is still this great foundation that you're going to build. Sometimes these things just start off as a friendship and just grow from there. Like you are going to be like 2 peas in a pod with this person. Cool. And then your other question was, were you going to have issues getting back home? And we did see with the make the first move, that you may have to just double check your travel plans and verify that things are going okay and as scheduled. So let's take a look at that. Will there be any issues with getting home, or will it be okay? I think it'll be all right. Ace of Swords next to, I have Eight of Cups here. I am getting something about leaving on schedule. So something, yeah, there's something here about like it's running on track as it's supposed to, at least as of right now, reading the energies. So it seems like it's pretty like clear cut. Like I just keep getting that word, like clear cut path. Like it's pretty simple from A to B. There aren't any necessarily, I don't see necessarily any delays or like a layover or anything like that. I'm just seeing like pretty direct. So yeah, when you're able to, yeah, you'll be able to leave like right on time, right on schedule. So that seems good. And then we have 10 of Pentacles. Now, you know, flying home or whatever, like if you are at some point going to see your family, I do see with our 10 of Pentacles that you will be able to do this, that they will have a better time like flying out to home or to wherever you guys are all meeting. It seems like that goes well. Like the travel logistics and stuff, if that's the correct term, that actually seems to be okay. So it seems like it'll go well. There is that. I understand. I see your comment saying you're afraid of being stranded. I don't see that happening though. I see it being very straightforward and quite simple. All right. So who was next after Silver? Tony says, good afternoon. Do my guides have any advice for me? Or should I just give it up? I'm at a loss. Anything they have for me would be helpful. Okay. All right. Sometimes it's okay to just be like, ugh. And instead of saying give up, I would use the word surrender. To kind of have that attitude of surrender, like, okay, you know what? Whatever is. It will help you to kind of open up to receiving more messages because you are not so attached to what it is that you want to hear or what you want the answer to be. Do you know what I mean? All right, so message from Tony's guides. I had two come out, but I'm going to just start with this one. A time to give rather than take. There's something here about new moon in Virgo. Now, I'm not an astrologer. If you want more info about the whole astrology thing, go check out my colleague Sebastian at Black and Orange Tarot and Astrology. She's very, very well versed in it. She's very talented with it. Okay. Like she can help you do your birth chart and stuff like that if that is something you're interested in. That's not what I specialize in though. But we have a time to give rather than to take. And the next one we have is hold your vision. I'm just going to do a tarot card just to sort of clarify this. I think I know what it's saying. Okay, now Spirit's calling me out for wanting to clarify with tarot. They're like, no, listen, I'm telling you, you need to listen. Okay, Spirit, I'm listening. All right. Hold your vision. There's something that you have been working on or some kind of goal that you have. And maybe you're worried about like, oh, am I actually going to be able to make this work? Am I going to be good enough to do this? Is this even going to turn out? And then with that time to give rather than take next to it, I feel like it's about giving to yourself instead of taking away from yourself, right? So what is it that you have been, either denying yourself, or what have you been saying yes to when you actually wanted to say no, or the other way around, what have you been saying no to when you would actually love to say yes to it? It's a time to give to yourself rather than take away from your own energy, to take away from your own cup to give to others. Also, with this time to give rather than take, this is going to sound a little weird, but it does still have to do with like the giving to yourself thing, okay? Instead of like taking everybody else's advice and input, because I mean, somebody finds out you're working on something or doing something, they're going to have something to say about it, right? Some people usually have good intentions with that. Oh, I just want to give you advice on this and this, or like, oh, have you considered this? Have you considered that? But sometimes, even though it's meant to be helpful, it's not always, because it can be very confusing, and sometimes it can be very discouraging, because it can make us feel like our own efforts or our own ideas just aren't enough. I'm getting something about like getting into a quiet, relaxed space. I don't know if you meditate or not, but you would be able to get to this point through meditation. Either way, just relaxing and opening up and setting that intention to spirit, like you already have. Whatever you want to say, just say anything from my guides. Anyway, they want to give you advice, and they want to give you. I'm seeing a present. Just mentally here, I'm seeing a present that they want to give you, but it's at the same time like you giving yourself a gift. Oh, I see what this is all about. Okay, this is your higher self. Your guides want to help you to learn to connect with your higher self so that she can give you the advice and the information, the confirmation that you're looking for, instead of like taking it from all these external sources. Now, we can get into the tarot. Sorry, I just had to go through the chat a little. There we go. Okay. So, with the tarot, what kind of advice do Tony's guides have? Let's see. Three of Wands, an answer or a result, or like hearing back about something that you've been looking into. You will get this answer sooner than you think. What else? All right. Ace of Pentacles, King of Wands. Now, with these court cards, and I say it every time, but I always like to help people remember, the gender is not the important part. Not for this reading that we're doing right now anyways. It's the energy, right? So our King of Wands here, this is like a very creative, charismatic person. This is somebody that is they're very driven, like self-driven and self-motivated. And like I'm going to say they're confident and they're sure of themselves. Now, that is something that takes a little bit of time to embody, that confidence and that self-assuredness and that security. However, Ace of Pentacles next to that King of Wands, there could be something like creative, like that you're doing, or some kind of project that you're going to be like, I'm getting something like a reward or a compensation for. Maybe if you're a creative person, like maybe you're going to be commissioned to do something, like if you're an artist or an editor or something like that. Like I'm just seeing where you're going to be asked, and I know that you're going to be asked because I'm seeing something on the bottom of the deck that I'll show you in a minute, but to exercise your your creative talents, and yeah, you're going to end up with some kind of a reward for it. Queen of Pentacles, after that, Ace of Pentacles shows me that this is something that like you could actually develop some kind of like financial stability from. So maybe if there is something that you kind of just do on the side, you may find that your services or what you have to offer are going to be in a bit more demand, and then you're finding that you're going to have like more I guess more to build off of, like financially, because you get this little bit of extra money coming in, but it also kind of helps your self-esteem, right? It's giving you a more solid sense of like, wow, you know what? I am actually talented. I am actually good at this. Like, I am capable. And you're being shown the ways in which you are capable. Now, I know you're going to be asked to do this creative work or whatever, because we have our Knight of Cups on the bottom. He's been showing up in everybody's readings so far, which is just really funny. Yeah, but like an attractive offer, something that you're like, ooh, you know what? That does seem intriguing. Like, I would like to try that, or I would like to at least get a little more into this. And, you know, and we're drawing from our higher self and their wisdom, instead of worrying about everybody else's input, because you know, everybody will have an opinion, but not everybody has expertise. You know, not everybody has the experience that you have. Not everybody has like, they might have their opinion, and well, you know, from what I've seen doing X, Y, and Z, or from what I know, that's great, but they don't always have the same like intuition that you have. So it's just like, just trust yourself with this one. Okay. Oh, Silver, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Okay, now. I hope that was helpful to you, by the way. Juju B is asking, does my father have any messages for me? He passed in 1983. Okay. So, before we jump into that, I need a drink of water. Sorry if you guys can hear me, water coming through my straw through my mic. This mic is a little sensitive, but okay. So Juju B's father. Does Juju B's father have any messages? Sorry, I laugh not because there's not like in an inappropriate way. I just laugh because the first thing I'm getting is somebody saying 1983. What year is it for you now? I've been here but like a day. So the perception of time is so different on the other side. To him, it feels like it's been but a day, not realizing how long ago 1983 actually is, almost 40 years ago. So let's see what else is there. And like, it's like he says this with this, there's a sense of amusement, or I get the word mirth. Have I really been dead for that long? I don't feel like I'm dead. Laughing because I keep hearing like, the concept of death is so silly. He's like, my body's been in the ground since 1983, but I am still alive. Okay, we got the Fool. So he's treating his time on the other side as like, oh, it's a brand new start. this, like, it's just this brand new adventure. And he does want you to know that there was I'm going to call it a life review when he went over with this judgment card. It's not judgment as in, ooh, God's judging you and you were bad and you get in trouble. It's not like that at all. He maybe was a little worried it would have been like that. He didn't know for sure what was going to happen, upon going into the afterlife. But yeah, there was a life review. But it's okay. Now I have King of Swords. There was a guide or a guardian angel type who was with him that was able to explain everything that was going on in this process. Like, well, here are the parts of your life that we're looking at, and here is why we're looking at these specific moments. Seeing the life review, a lot of it went by very, very quick in a flash, but there were some moments that they had to kind of stop and linger on and analyze. And this guide was like, okay, do you understand why this thing in your life turned out the way it did? Do you understand why this opportunity, this is a little specific, but I'm getting like, do you understand why this opportunity was taken away from you? It was to keep you safe, because this next opportunity would not have come had you taken the first one. Interesting. So yeah, just trying to help him to understand why certain things were the way they were in his lifetime. All right, what else do we have here? He says, I'm not dead. I'm still just as alive as you. I have a couple of cards that chose to kind of flip themselves while I was shuffling. And I'm not going to take all of them that did that, but there was one in particular that I saw jump out a couple times, and I am going to keep it. I just have to find what it was. I mean, I know what it was. I just have to find it in the deck. It was the Ace of Wands. Oh, here it is. Something about it's a brand new life. It's a brand new life. Oh. Okay, so he wants to remind you, or remind us perhaps, of, yeah, like the cycle of life, the cycles of nature. He's showing me a fruit falls from a tree, or another image I'm seeing is of like a tree that has maybe is dying, or a tree that has been cut down. It falls to the ground, right? And we think, well, that's it. That's the end of that tree. That tree is gone. Well, the fruits, and now I'm seeing fruits, excuse me, any like fruits that had fallen off of that tree, they have seeds in them. And those seeds, the fruit decomposes and the seeds just kind of end up in the dirt, or the fruit gets eaten by an animal and, the animal poops out the seeds. And what sprouts from the seeds? It's a brand new plant. It came off of that original one, but it doesn't mean that like his life is like finished. It just took on a different form. Am I making sense with this analogy? Another way that you could see it is, let's say like with a forest fire. Sometimes some people do the controlled burns where it's very heavily monitored and supervised and whatever. But what happens during these, sometimes some of the trees burn down, the pine cones and stuff fall off. Sometimes during these fires, the pine cones will, pop open. I don't know if they like explode, but I do know that they can like pop open, and their seeds kind of can spread, and that can start, the germination of a new forest, where it's like life continues. It's just in a slightly different form than what we were used to seeing before. I have also Six of Cups and Devil, but I want to clarify this this Devil card, it's not about him. I just want to clarify something before I go into what I'm getting here, because I don't want to accidentally get into anything third party or get into anything that would be inappropriate to talk about on stream. Oh, okay. No, this is all right. It's all right. So without going into like too many details, 6 of Cups. Now I don't know if you have kids but this is referring to a child that is like in your family, child or teenager that's really struggling. Okay, with that Devil card, and the family perhaps is quite worried about this young person, or is a little confused about what's going to happen with them, what their path is going to look like. And because sometimes like you can do everything you can to try and help someone, but it is ultimately up to them to make the right choices. If this is something that your family is worrying about with a young person, your dad is just saying, first of all, with the Tower, this young person is going through quite a big change in life. Something really major has shifted for them, and while they have been struggling, there's the 6 of Wands. There's victory here. It is going to be ultimately okay for them. So he's saying, don't worry about that. It will sort itself out. Just please have patience for this person at this time. Don't give up on this young person, whoever it is, whatever is going on there. Let's see. Let's do a Moonology. Message from Jujubee's father. Surrender to the divine. Now, this is not meant to sound morbid or anything like that in any way, but what this does mean is that eventually we all cross over. At some point or another, we will all eventually go back to where we came from. And he's saying, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of passing. Don't be afraid of that transition. There's just a surrender. Because at first, now I don't know the nature of his passing, and you don't have to talk about it in the chat or anything if you don't want to, but at first maybe he was a little bit, maybe a little afraid, and he kind of fought it a little bit, the transition over. But it was when he stopped fighting this could be where that guide or guardian angel kind of came in and was like, no, it's okay. Here's what we're going to do. Like walked him through this and then was like, nah, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Oh, I'm being told to relay it as such. Okay. When you're very tired at night, and I know kids especially do this. Absolutely, kids do this all the time. And I mean, I'm almost 30 years old and I still do it. Overtired, but fighting sleep, right? And it'll be good for you if you just surrender and relax and just let the sleep take over, right? But I don't want to miss like the end of this episode that I'm watching. Oh, but I just want to watch one more video, or like, oh, I don't feel like I'm done with my day yet. It's like, no, because what's going to be best for you is to get that full night of sleep. And so what your dad's saying here is like, when it comes time to transition over for each of us, it's easier to just allow the process to happen. There's no fear when you just surrender and allow, this card says the divine, but I'm just hearing like, allow God to take over. You allow your angels to step in and guide you. You just allow nature to take its course. You don't have to fight it. Interesting. So I love knowing that like the big message here is like that he is happy there on the other side. He wants you to know that it's completely okay. He's totally safe. It's going well. Like he's learning lots. He's still alive. He wants you to know that he's just as alive as he's always been. He's just in a slightly different form. And I see your comment. Jay, King of Swords may have been his brothers who passed before him. Clarity of life review makes sense, as he passed early at 49 years. So that is very early, and I'm very sorry that happened to him at so young. But wow, like it's just the fact that he's just like so okay with you know what? I'm on the other side now and I'm in a different form, but that's all right. Like he wants you to not be afraid. He wants us to not be afraid of that. Okay, so that's what I got for you, Jujubee. Oh, cool, Tony. I just saw a comment saying that you have been thinking about trying to write a children's book. Go for it. Absolutely. Even if you're doing it just for fun, like just to write stuff down or to draw stuff or whatever, like just do it. That's, I mean, obviously easier said than done, but like have fun with it, you know? All right. Stanley's been waiting his turn in the chat. I see that. I appreciate that. I am doing these in order. Excuse me. I am doing these in order, though, in the order in which I see them. Oh, hello, Aries. Welcome. Wendy, hello. Marie Gongora, hello. Okay, Wendy had a question as well. Where was Wendy's question? I gotta just scroll up and find it. Okay, Wendy's asking how her trip to London at the end of the month will go. Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, let's jump into that. Also, thank you to Jujubee's father for coming in and doing this reading. It's okay now for you to take a step back. We are all done talking to you, but thank you. All right, sorry, I just had to make that distinction very clear that we were moving on. All right. Wendy's trip to London at the end of the month. That sounds like fun. I am low-key kind of jealous. I would love to go and visit the UK. Now I know like it's England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, but I also know that there's Ireland and there's Northern Ireland, and like some of the parts are UK and some of them are not. So I could be very incorrect, but I'm still quite jealous because I have always wanted to actually go and visit. Well, in Britain especially, there are a couple of locations I would really like to see. And it seems kind of funny because to somebody who lives there, it's like, why the heck would you want to see this? But there's a place called Ottery St. Mary, and I really want to go and see it because my British viewers might know what I'm talking about with this. But about 10, 15 years ago, I feel old saying that. Holy crap. There was a BBC radio sitcom called Cabin Pressure by John Finnemore. Hilarious. Very good show. He's a great comedian, very funny with his radio drama or radio comedies. And my favorite episode of that show is called Ottery St. Mary. And, you know, the guys that are working at this one plane airline are trying to help the captain, Martin, deliver a piano to a pub in Ottery St. Mary. But the problem is Martin is injured and needs help. He can't deliver this piano. He can't load it into his van. He can't drive. He can't get it out, you know, to this pub. So his colleagues, Arthur and Douglas, have to help him. And I don't want to give spoilers or anything for a show that's like 15 years old, but pretty much what happens is they're in a bit of a time crunch. So instead of taking the several hours to drive to Ottery St. Mary, they decide to load up the airplane or the piano onto the airplane. And they just make like a 2-minute little flight all the way just to deliver a piano to a pub. And I don't know, I'm not explaining it very well, but it's a very funny episode of a very funny series. And so I really want to go see if there actually is a pub in Ottery St. Mary and if they have a piano. There's a couple other places too, like there's an episode, Wokingham, and I don't know what's actually in Wokingham, but it's where one of the main characters, Martin, grew up, and we actually meet his mother in the episode and stuff. Like, Yeah. So the point is of this whole tangent is like, you are so lucky you get to go and visit the UK. So let's take a look at that London trip. How's it going to go? Wendy says, I'm Canadian living in USA, so grew up singing God Save the Queen. Ooh. I know that's what they used to sing in schools before O Canada became a thing. Okay. All right. Are you doing a guided tour or something? Because I'm kind of seeing that with oh, I love that you're saying we're going to plays, pubs, and parks. That's awesome. Yeah, but I am just seeing with this like if you are doing this like a guided tour thing, with we have King of Cups, where this is potentially your tour guide or the person that's kind of helping you navigate around where to go, and helping to explain here's the significance of this place. Well, here's the quickest way or the best way to get to that place. I'm seeing something really interesting. It's not just the fancy, I'm going to say touristy parts of the city that you're just going to see. You are actually going to see like a lot of the regular aspects of the city. Like I'm seeing something with this Eight of Pentacles. I'm seeing like the working class life. You will get a glimpse of that. You will see how excuse me for saying this, but seriously, the word that came in was commoner. Was like how the commoners live. And I really, really don't mean for that to be hurtful or rude to anybody. But sometimes, a person books a trip to go on a tour of the city and you only see like the really nice parts and like the really fancy stuff. You're seeing like the real stuff, the regular people, the effort and all of the work that these regular people are putting in to keep this community beautiful or keep it thriving. And these cards, 10 of Pentacles with 7 of Swords. This is kind of what got me to like make that connection where you were going to be supporting, for whatever reason, there's something you're doing on this trip or with your group that you're actually contributing a lot to, more so to the working class than to the upper or like the super wealthy that are in that city. Like there's something, I like it though, because there's something about you're supporting like I'm seeing like smaller local businesses instead of another corporation. One guided tour of the first subway, Baker Street. Ooh. Oh, do you get to see 221B? That's the address. Well, 221, but I was very years and years ago. I had the biggest crush on Benedict Cumberbatch when I was about 16, 17, and I watched the hell out of BBC Sherlock. Now, it's a good show. It is. I haven't seen it in years, but it's a good show. But I wanted to go see Baker Street. I think there's a museum there or something. Yeah, Brenda, I'm a commoner too. But yeah, like there's a museum and stuff there, if I remember correctly, over at 221B. So like that's really cool. You're very lucky you get to go see that. I'm a little low-key jealous. So what else should we know about this trip? Wendy says staying in Bermondsey. I may have butchered that. I know the British have different ways of pronouncing things than the Canadians have. Near the London Bridge. That's cool. So anything else that Spirit wants you to know regarding this London trip? This is is interesting. Okay. If you have been feeling stuck in an aspect of your life, you've been feeling stuck or like feeling like stagnant or something, like, oh my gosh, like it's just the same old every day. Like, what am I doing? What is my purpose? You know, there's something about this trip that's going to I'm getting literally hearing unblock the dam. So maybe you've been struggling with some kind of like a creative block or like a lack of inspiration. There's something about this trip that's going to unblock that dam. It's going to help to like bring forth a greater flow of creativity, of inspiration, of like I'm just seeing like renewed hope, where it's like, oh, I can do anything. I can do that. So it could be an experience that you have while you're on the trip, or something you learn from someone. Maybe somebody tells you a bit about their life's experience. I thought I was stuck doing this, but then I decided I'm going to try something new, and then it worked out for me, or whatever. But there's something like that for you. It's like that something about this trip, or something you do or hear or experience on this trip, it unclogs this. Again, with silly analogies, but this is how I connect with spirit. Unclogs those, like the blocked up pipes, or another thing I'm seeing is when your shower head or whatever, if you got hard water and it's just trickling because there's too much like of the lime scale and crap built up, and you get that all cleaned up and cleaned away, and then you turn on your shower and all of a sudden it's like whoosh, comes out perfectly flowing nicely. I'm seeing this happening with you, but energetically. 10 of Swords, don't worry about this. What this 10 of Swords is saying is that it's the end of this discomfort, this feeling stuck. And I'm seeing where you say stuck in a job and routine of life. So sometimes it's that same old, nothing's new. This is that change of scenery that you need. It'll kind of help you to fall back in love with life, and to realize there's so much more out there than the routines that we end up subjecting ourselves to, or otherwise being subjected to. That, having just that period of rest and relaxation and having fun, this is good. It is actually good to see the 10 of Swords, because it just means you're getting out of that rut. All right. Let's do a Moonology for you. Anything else for Wendy to know regarding her trip? Okay. Interesting. It does kind of these do go along with our seeing that creative block, or unclogging the pipe, or cleaning the shower head, whatever. Pick whatever analogy you want out of all the ones that I was given. We have adjustments are required, and we have your commitment is being tested. So your commitment to I love that you're saying here that you need this trip for your mental health. So like perhaps it is your commitment to yourself for doing what's going to make you happy, or your commitment to taking care of your mental health, and your commitment to like enjoying your life despite the routines. And then adjustments are required. Spirit, what kind of adjustments are you referring to? Something about sleep schedule. And that is important. Because I kind of get this, because I don't know where you're from. If you're from, like, let's just say you're from Canada or the US or something like that, the time difference is very big over there. It's a very significant time difference. So you may have to adjust your sleep schedule a little bit. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, okay? but you may have to adjust your sleep schedule and your sleep-wake times a little bit leading up to the trip, making sure that you are well rested, and then you're just getting a little heads up in advance from Spirit that when you do get over there, if you experience, like some kind of jet lag or anything like that, having trouble adjusting to the time changes, it's okay, don't worry. Like, you will adjust to it, but just prepare yourself for that change. Okay. Okay, so you are in the US. So yeah, the time difference over there, I think it's like if I remember correctly, the UK, depending on where, they're about 7 or 8 hours ahead of us. So I think they're about 7 hours ahead of me, and I'm one time zone over from you. So it's probably about an 8-hour difference from you. So yeah, that adjustment is going to be quite big. So that's just something Spirit wants you to just be aware of, and it will be okay. And just, just to know that kind of thing is normal, especially if you've been on a really long flight. I don't know how long it takes I'm not sure how long it takes to actually fly from North America, from Canada or the US to Britain. I guess it depends on which airline and which route and your stopovers and your this and your that. But yeah, it's okay if you're tired for the first couple days of your trip. Do not let that discourage you. That is normal. It's okay. Okay, that's what I have for you. So I hope that was helpful. Congrats. I'm so happy for you that you get to go on your trip. You will have to let us know how it went when you come back next time we're on stream or anything like that. I would love to hear about that. All right, so next after Wendy, we had just reading the chat. I'm not just staring. Okay. We had Wendy. Oh, I missed A Faves' question. That gets a little bit third party though, A Faves. I'm not comfortable reading on if she's going to stay with her boyfriend. And no, I'm not saying that to be rude to you or anything like that. I'm very, very particular with the way that I handle readings, especially if you want to know something about someone else, okay? But you know what I will do for you, A Faves? Because these are very valid questions that you have, and I totally understand. Now, I don't have my own kids, but I do have parents, and I know from having parents that they always want to know that I'm okay, right? My mom and dad always want to make sure that I'm making the right choices and that I'm happy and safe, and they want to make sure that my work life and everything like that is okie dokie. So I get that you want to ask questions, and I understand that. But I think what we'll do instead for you, A Faves, I understand this may not be what you were hoping for, but I'm going to ask Spirit if there's anything that you can do to best support your daughter and to help her get the best outcome possible for her, or to help her get into what is in her best interest, into her best alignment. All right? I think that's what we'll do. So Spirit, for A Faves, is there anything A Faves can do to help their daughter have the best outcome, to help their daughter be in proper alignment? Is there anything A Faves should do or keep in mind regarding that? Okay, well, I do see we have the Empress. This is Mom. And if now I just am assuming, now pardon me for assuming one's gender, but if you are the mother, I'm seeing here that there will be times where she is going to come to you for advice. And it's going to be your job to, tap into those motherly instincts that you have, or those parental instincts that you have, to offer the wisdom that that you have from your life experience that she doesn't have yet. But yeah, she is, at some point she may come to you for that help and that support. So I'm seeing to just keep being encouraging. Six of Pentacles, this is about offering support. Now, it could be financial support if you have the means to do that. And, of course, that is your choice and depends on your situation and all that. But it doesn't have to just be financial support. It can be like emotional support, but also just making it known to her that you are there for her and that she can come to you whenever she needs to about what she's going through. And to be there just to share, whether it's the good news or the bad news, or hey, I had this for breakfast today, or like depending on how old that your daughter is, I'm assuming that she's an adult based on what you're asking, whether she comes to you for like really serious advice or comes to you with like, how do I iron this shirt properly, or whatever, big things, small things. She just needs to know that you are there for her. Now, what else can AFAVs know regarding their daughter? Is there anything else AFAVs can do or should look out for or be aware of? Let's see. Okay, it does go along with the parental advice and the wisdom. Help her, encourage her to, with the Chariot, to go ahead and pursue the dreams, but to also have her know, when I saw this card, I heard it's always safe at home. There's always a spot for you at home. There's always a landing pad at home. So that if she needed to, she could come back home, whether that's like temporarily or, just to take a break from wherever she's at or whatever, right? It's just that there's a safety net for her, that you're going to be there to support her and help her. To encourage her to, I'm hearing, to take the risk. It's a calculated risk. She does know what she's doing. But when you're a young adult, I'm still a young adult, but new opportunities and stuff like that can be terrifying, especially when you don't know how something's going to turn out, or if there is like a safety net for you, or a contingency kind of plan. You're being encouraged to let her know it's always safe with me at home. If you need to come back and regroup, that's totally fine. I'm here. Okay. I have be bold and make the first move. This might mean it's okay to check in on her. You don't always have to wait for her to come to you. But it also doesn't mean that you're like always, like constantly phoning or texting. Oh, are you okay? Is everything okay? Oh my gosh. It's once in a while being like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I want you to know I love you very much and I'm here to help you. Is everything going okay? Is there anything that I can help you with, or is there anything you want to talk about? And it's like you reaching out first. And, she might say, no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Everything's good. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. But because you've reached out to her first, you've shown her that you are interested, right, in her life and how she's doing, and that you want her to do well. You're interested in her well-being. That kind of plants the seed in her mind that, you know what, it is okay to go to my mom. And, my mom does care, or my dad, whatever, right? Like, wow, you know what? My mom does care about me, and she does care about what I'm doing, and she is interested in my life. So, you know what? Today was a rough day. I think I am going to text her, or I think I am going to call her and talk to her, whatever, right? So just keep being there for her, keep encouraging her, let her know that she is safe to try new things in life because you will always be there to love her and support her. And if she falls down and something doesn't work out, well, that's okay, because you're there to help her get back up and brush her off and encourage her to try again or to try something new or, to get back on her feet. So that's what I can do for you, A-Faves. I hope that was helpful. After A-Faves, we had... Brenda had a question too. And I want to see if I can find it. It was... Oh, there's Brenda's question. Oh, and Princess KK as well. Okay, we'll do Princess KK because hers was actually right below A-Faves, and then Brenda's was right below Princess KK. So we'll do Princess KK. Princess KK is asking if she will receive any kind of surprises for Valentine's Day. Any surprises for Valentine's Day? Let's see. Depends on what you define as a surprise, too. First of all, I'm seeing like a child's art project. And I don't want to give you spoilers though. I mean, it is something you are already kind of aware of, but okay. I'm seeing, first of all, a child's art project, right? And it's the paper and glue and sparkles and scribbly kind of, the little child handwriting, and it's very cute. You're going to be surprised, one thing I'm seeing that you would be very surprised about is wow, your printing has gotten so much better. Or wow, you're getting really good at making your L's or D's or whatever, right? You're really getting good at doing these. Or your spelling, wow, you've gotten really good at spelling. There's just something very surprising there. And it's, I think also it just dawns on you that oh, you are growing up. Oh, so sweet. So a child from your family or a niece or nephew or something could be giving you a very cute, heartfelt little gift like that. And you're just so, yeah, there's just oh, you're so surprised that oh my God, you are so smart. How you were just a baby. It felt like just yesterday you were just a baby learning to talk. And now you can already spell your full name. And with neat letters and everything like that. So, but let's see what else we're seeing. Again, with this, and I'm trying not to get too third party, right, about this child in your family unit or whatever, but I do see here with Page of Swords and Seven of Cups, something that he or she has been really confused about in the past or was really struggling to learn or remember. They got it now. Maybe there's some kind of evaluation, again, maybe that's when report cards come out or something like that. I don't know, but there's just some kind of wow, you got this. Seeing where earlier in the year they really struggled with this, but now they got it and they're very consistent and very quick to remember and understand whatever it is with this new skill or whatever that they've acquired. So that's going to be quite a surprise for you. Let's take a look at any other kind of surprises, Spirit, for Princess KK. Okay, something else I'm seeing is you're being given the opportunity to treat yourself. I'm seeing you here as this Queen of Wands. And then, yeah, here with Knight of Pentacles, like rest, stability. I think it's a day where things don't seem to go wrong. You know, everyday life has its surprises, and some days are absolutely ridiculous and other days are just chill and easy. I feel as though Valentine's could be like very stable and very like it just goes as predicted, and that's something that you've been really perhaps hoping for, looking forward to. But I'm also getting, yeah, some kind of opportunity to treat yourself. What does this mean, Spirit? First of all, I'm hearing you can be left alone for more than 15 minutes without an interruption, without external demands from others. You may receive, it could be a little card, or because this King of Swords is regarding a person that's in your life. I'm seeing perhaps a friend. Like I don't get necessarily like romance vibes from this person, but definitely like a friend or somebody that is very kind, that they may surprise you with a little gift. You know, like a little card, or you know, sometimes like maybe it's like a card with like a little chocolate treat or something in there, or you know, perhaps there's a coupon in there for, maybe it's something that you've been wanting to do. Like let's just say, for example, you've been wanting to get your hair done or your nails done. This person might be like, you know what, this coupon, this like direct mail or whatever coupon came to my house, but I have no use for this because I don't get my nails done, or I don't get my hair done, or maybe this person doesn't even have hair. Like, would you like this? And you're like, oh, hell yeah, because it's exactly what you've been looking for. Yep. And then Four of Wands, there's peace and harmony within your home life, especially around that day. It's just, yeah, everything just feels like, how do I explain that? Everything feels that everything is in its right place. And the energy just feels organized. It feels calm. It feels like everything is working together, or everyone maybe in your family unit or your community, or you know, whatever, it's working together. And now there's just something more harmonious about like your environment where you're living. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. This is just what popped into my head. First, I'm seeing an alarm going off at like 6 a.m., but you're hitting snooze. And it's okay this time, because like there's something that's taken care of for you already that allows you the opportunity to, you know what, I'm going to just hit that snooze button, and I'm going to give myself an extra 20 minutes before I have to get up, instead of, oh my God, it's 6 a.m. I have to, all right, fine, let's do it. Like you're able to just take it a little bit more slowly that day. And yeah, things just unfold gently and unfold very easily. There's just this very easy, peaceful energy for you. Now, Moonology for Princess KK. The energy is gaining momentum. So the energy that we were seeing here is of peace and harmony. So if things in your life have been kind of all over the place and just a real clusterfuck, or real cluster jam, excuse my French, the energy that's gaining momentum now is this like harmonious, balanced energy. And I feel like this is something that you've been craving for a very long time. And it is coming. So around that time, that middle of February, you will start to, have this feeling of like, okay, you know what? Things are finally settling down. There's this feeling of like dust settling and being able to like, breathe and pick up and move at your own pace. All right. So that's what I have for you, Princess KK. I hope that was helpful. Next, we had Brenda, and Brenda was asking about regarding, okay, can you do a reading regarding my manager and the meeting that I had with him in HR? Okay. I guess we can look at that. I mean, it's like a little bit third party just because we're asking about the manager, but because it's your manager, right? You're not asking about somebody else's job or somebody else's manager. So let's just take a look at how that meeting will, or the meeting that you already had. Wait, regarding manager in the meeting that I had with him and HR, how will it go? Have you had the meeting yet or no? I'm just a little confused by the wording. Let's see. Oh, you already had the meeting. Okay. All right. So let's just get some more info. Yeah. Okay. I'm just scrolling back up to your original question here. And the meeting. Okay. Regarding, let's just pull some cards. Regarding what's going on with you in the work situation and the management situation. Let's see. Anything for you to know that maybe, was not covered in that meeting or anything like that? Let's see. Anything that you need to know? I have two that came out, and I'm just going to clarify real quick before I go into them further. Interesting. There's something that at that place they did not care about before because they didn't think it was an issue. I have Queen of Wands. This could be you. It could also refer to perhaps other colleagues or other women. I do feel especially it's specific to other women that are there. Five of Cups have been very unhappy. There's something going on that you and others who are there are very just not okay with, just not satisfied, like feeling regretful. Perhaps it's like regretting ending up in this situation. Sometimes with work stuff, like at my last job, sometimes things would happen and I'd be like, oh my God, I regret the day I applied here. So I can understand if that's something that's going on. There's a lot of grief though, and I'm getting the word turmoil. This time, now for some reason, like the upper like management and higher up at work, they're starting to ask questions. Well, what is it that's causing this unhappiness? Now they may be asking you this directly, or they're asking kind of like amongst themselves, like, what is the cause of this? Like, why is nobody happy here? Why does nobody want to be here? Or like, why are the staff feeling like they don't want to be here? And they're just now starting to do their homework on this. And I roll my eyes because how many jobs and how many places does this happen? Or in how many situations does this happen where they don't listen to you the first time that you bring up a concern, or the second time, or the third time, or they don't listen to the second person or the third person, or, they just ignore it. They find excuses for it. They find ways to sweep it under the rug until it becomes such a problem that they can't just deny it anymore. And it's like after something big happens, it's like now they're like, oh, well, now we have to go back and do our research. Now we have to find out what it was that happened. Well, they would have known what happened if they had just listened the first time. So like, I get that frustration. That, but aren't they just, doesn't it just always seem to happen like that? All right, let's see. Anything else to know? Let's get advice for Brenda here, Spirit. What's good advice for Brenda that you have? I'm getting the word placate. Don't let them merely placate you without them solving the deeper issue first. Don't let them just placate you without they themselves like holding themselves accountable or taking accountability for something that they've done. Let's see, what else? What is it with these companies? It's like there's this like too little, too late kind of energy, where everybody's stressed because of whatever project or deadline or something like that. And instead of like upper management or somebody like stepping in to help or hiring this extra help or getting someone, nope, they just reward the team with pizza on Friday. One slice only. And you must sign out for the 5 minutes in which you will spend eating this pizza. And, if you have celiacs or you're lactose intolerant or for whatever reason can't have the pizza, well, too bad, because this is the gesture we made and be happy with it, right? Like, don't let them just placate you without, I'm getting something about like emptiness, meaningless, like empty words, meaningless gestures, empty gestures. Let's look at just what's going on. Yeah, petty. I like that you use the word petty. Like they're just so out of touch with like human emotions. Okay, that one fell on the floor. Now I'm going to use that one. There's with the Ten of Swords. It's like something ends now. Well, ooh. And bottom of the deck, there's like a woman like leading the charge here with our Queen of Swords even. We did already have Queen of Wands that was like representing perhaps you and the other working women or working colleagues. But I have with Queen of Swords, this is like the woman who stands up and speaks her mind and doesn't just go along with corporate's empty apologies. Like this is the person who actually calls them out, or when they say, oh, we're going to make big changes around here so that this type of thing never happens again. The Queen of Swords is the person who goes, okay, so exactly what are you going to do? And what are your steps? And, what is your timeline for when can we see the result? Like Queen of Swords, like she's holding them accountable. Because it's like, well, and I don't know how many people have left, if people have left or not, but it's like, well, like, let's go back to just the pizza example. It doesn't necessarily mean that is literally what's happening at your workplace. It might be, but you know what I mean? Like with those little like empty gestures and stuff, like, well, that's great, but that's not going to pay for our therapy bills because we're so stressed and burned out. Or like, well, that's great, but that's not going to take care of my mental health. Well, that's great that you're offering like this little reward, or like, oh, I got a sticker for good work or whatever, like cool, but that's not going to make me stay. Like, right? Like, it's just, those aren't the changes that place needs to be making in order to retain the people that they want to keep. That Queen of Swords like calls them out on that. What I like about this, what I'm getting, is that you have sincere energy. They don't. Like, there's just some way in which they just lack like a basic like emotional intelligence. These people that are in charge, they're book smart, but where the hell is, like, they got the IQ, but where the hell is their EQ, right? Like, yeah, they're book smart, but they're not socially competent or emotionally mature, or, there's just something so important there that they're missing, that they just simply, for whatever reason, cannot grasp. And it's not that they're like unable to permanently. They could if they wanted to. Think about it as a relationship with somebody that is not very committed, right? Or a relationship with somebody that always leaves you on red, or like always ignores you, or blows off plans, or says one thing and then they're like, oh no, actually I didn't really mean that. When they say, when it comes to relationships, well, if they wanted to, they would. Workplaces are not any different, right? These people are capable of learning what they need to learn to be able to solve the problems that are present in the workplace, but it's just a matter of if they want to, they will. Do you want to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't want to make the effort to make you, feel loved and special and make you want to stay? Well, a workplace is not any different, right? Are you sure you want to stay somewhere where they don't really care, where they don't really want to put in that effort for anybody there? Just something to think about. Let's do a moonology and then we'll move on to our next question. I know I am falling a little bit behind in the chat here. I've had a couple of people that have been very patiently waiting. Actually, all of you have been very good patiently waiting. You're very close to achieving your goal. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish here, you almost have it. A new start is coming. I love this for you. A new start is coming. You're very close to achieving your goal and a new start is coming. Now that can be, this is up to you with, our free will decisions and stuff, but like, that could be a new start, could literally be a new place to work, or it can be like a new kind of energy sweeping through the place. But yeah, you're very close to achieving your goal, whatever it is that you have been fighting for here. You're very close to actually making this happen, or seeing the results that you want to see. So that's awesome. I'm sorry you're stuck, or I shouldn't say stuck, because anyway, but like that you are currently in a situation that sucks like that. But I'm very happy for you that there is something really good coming out of this, and you will be getting what it is that you are hoping for and working for. Okay, so after we had Brenda's reading. Yeah, Stanley, if you're still in the chat, I see you. I know. I see you. I just want to just make sure I'm, getting things done in proper order. Okay. Now, okay, we did Wendy's London trip. Yep. We have Okay. Okay, Stanley, it's your turn. If you're still in the chat, thank you so much for waiting. I'm like I said, I really appreciate when you guys are like super patient and understanding, because some of these messages are short and sweet and some of them go quite deep, and it's a little hard for me to predict which kind of answer, or which kind of reading we're going to end up with for each question. So thank you for hanging in there. Stanley is asking, shall I meet my love? Ooh. All right, well, let's take a look. Is Stanley going to meet that person that he's going to have a love connection with? Have you been single for a long time? I get this feeling that perhaps you've been single for a long time, because I'm seeing 7 of Pentacles and Death card. Death card this is good in this case. It's major transformation. 7 of Pentacles is like seeing the long-term effects of something. So like I said, if you've been single for a long time, I mean, this card, if we wanted to estimate timing, this could be saying that you've been single for the last 7 years, or have been kind of looking for that right person for the last 7 years. It's like you've been very patient, and like now it's time for transformation. So I love seeing that right off the start. Sorry, I'm just going to scroll back down just real quick. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get back to your reading. All right, Stanley. Okay. All right, I'm caught up now on the chat. Stanley. Transformation after a very long time of waiting. But I'm seeing something about like your patience is being rewarded. I have 2 of Swords fell out, but I'm going to pull one more to go alongside her. Excuse me, my eye was really itchy there. Oh, now you don't have to share anything in the chat that you're not comfortable with, but I'm just getting here 2 of Swords. There was something about love that like you just weren't really seeing, or some kind of concept or something that you just weren't fully understanding. And it's not necessarily your fault, because I see with the 9 of Wands where maybe you've had rocky relationships in the past, or there was just this like a struggle here. Sometimes our 9 of Wands can also come up when something maybe a little traumatic has happened, or has left you just feeling exhausted, or has just left you kind of with like battle wounds. So let's say you had a relationship in the past that ended very poorly, or something got very messy, or you were hurt in some way. What I'm getting here is that something that you weren't seeing about love is that it can start off small. It can start off as friendship. Something that you're not seeing about love necessarily is that there is pure love out there. It does not have to look, the way that we see, like, on the rom-coms, they meet and it's love at first sight, and they immediately have this whirlwind romance, and everything moves so quickly. It doesn't actually have to go from 0 to 100, instantly. That it can start off as a friendship, as mutual compassion, mutual understanding, and mutual respect for each other, and that it can grow. I'm seeing something here about like finding, it's like finding love and friendship that grows into love, but you find this in an unexpected way, or maybe with an unexpected kind of person. Perhaps you're interested in somebody that never used to be your type. Everybody kind of has a type, has their preferences. Somebody that maybe falls outside of your expectations of what you thought the best romantic partner for you would be or whatever, and you end up being pleasantly surprised. So let's see what else we can get. Yeah, and I keep hearing here that sometimes love starts small, and that is valid. It is just as valid as those love at first sight whirlwind romantic connections. Anything else to know for Stanley? This is going to happen much sooner than you realize with our Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is all about fast movement. I hope you're prepared, because this energy, this new start in your life, this new chapter for you, it's coming a lot sooner than you think it will. So that's why I'm saying I hope you're prepared. Let's just get one last tarot. Wheel of Fortune just fell out. Yeah, this is something you're meant to have in your life, is love in all of its many forms. But it's like Spirit knows our hearts and knows our desires. And in this case, this romantic love relationship that you're looking for, it can be in alignment with your best good in life. Maybe that's why it just took so long to get to this point, Maybe there was just inner work that needed to be done for you and for that special person. But now it's like you're in a position where that kind of relationship will be for your best good and will be in alignment with your highest good. So I'm very excited for you. So yeah. Ask when. Spirit, should we do a timing estimate on when? It's going to be soon. It's those wands are the fastest moving energy, the fastest suit of all of them. So it is going to be soon. Now, soon, I guess that can be relative. For some people, 2 weeks is soon. For some people, 2 months is soon, right? So let's see. Okay, perhaps next few months, next 4-ish months. And if you have been single for a very long time, 4 months, I guess, would be considered quite soon compared to, let's say if you've been single for several years or whatever. So that's very exciting for you. I'm happy for you. I am not pulling a moonology this time. I feel as though Spirit's given us enough, clear enough information that I feel like this is complete, this, what is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, this reading is complete. We've accomplished what we set out to accomplish with your reading. Okay? So I hope that was helpful for you. Again, thank you so much for waiting so patiently, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Okay. So I'm at the point now of the stream where I'm going to write down our last few readings that we're going to do. So we had, after Stanley, we had just going to double check. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. Okay. Okay. We had Janice is asking, lately when I think about something, I hear it talked about, is this a Claire? That is a synchronicity. And that is very exciting. That is like confirmation or validation that whatever it is that you were thinking about, learning about, whatever, is like you're onto something with this, on some kind of a right track with this. Usually the clairs refer to, we got clairvoyance, clairseeing. So when somebody says they're clairvoyant, it means that they see like images from spirit or mental images. Like, for example, I would consider myself to have clairvoyant tendencies because I do get messages from spirits through images sometimes. Some people are clairaudient, where they hear. Now, some people actually hear with their regular ears the message. Some people just hear it in their mind. Now, for me, I hear it in my mind. I don't hear it outright. There's also clairsentience. That's your gut feeling, and you just feel that something is true, or you just have a very strong feeling or sense about something. And then we also have claircognizance, and that's clear knowing. That's when, for whatever reason, you just know that you know something. And whether you had the like a mental image to go along with it, or a feeling to go along with it or not, you just know something to be true, even though you might not know why you know or how you know, right? Those are more like the clairs. Okay, so we also have, and also, hello, Janice, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Janice says, seeing my mother's birthday all the time. I'm just reading through the chat. I'm not just dissociating, staring off. Although I have been known to do that. Maybe not on stream. Yeah, and I'm seeing A-Faves commenting, I literally cannot sleep regarding my daughter's choices. I'll try reading tarot and pendulum myself, thank you. You might get better results if it's something you try to look into yourself, or even just talk to her about it and about your feelings. You never know what will come up when you just ask somebody, right? All right. And I understand where it's important for her to make her own choice, but it's hard to let her do that. Yeah, I can understand it. Like I said, I don't have kids, but I do have parents, and there have definitely been times in my life where they're like, I don't know about this choice that you're making, but I do have to respect your ability to make choices and be able to do this. And then, things turn out fine or whatever, but they're like, oh my God, I was like so worried about what was going to happen there, but and that was fine. But this means that you're a good mom because your daughter's, her well-being is your well-being. And I can understand that. And like that just shows like you have like a really big heart, a big open heart for her and your other children, if you have other children. Cindy was, okay, so I'm gonna write down Cindy. Cindy had a question. Cindy, welcome to the chat. If you are still on stream, thank you for being here and thank you for waiting. I really appreciate that. Cindy would like to know, okay, Cindy had an argument with somebody and would like to know if he will come back and talk to her following the argument today or not. Okay. A little bit third party-ish. So what should we do about this, Spirit? How should we go about this? Okay, is there anything that Cindy needs to know or anything that she can do? Okay, and then energy surrounding that, like relationship, friendship, whatever that situation is. Okay. And we'll actually start with immunology. Let's just get some general guidance here with our oracle cards regarding that situation that Cindy and that other person have found themselves in. So let's see. A new start is coming. I'm going to shuffle these again. A new start is coming. We got, excuse me, we got surrender to the divine. What I'm getting here, I don't know if you were here for Juju B's reading, but a family member of hers on the other side had this message of don't fight it, and like that it's okay. It's just let this run its course. And it's a very similar energy here with surrender to the divine. You don't need to fight anything about the situation. You don't need to force anything about the situation. I feel as though you did your part already. Like you did what you could to like try and either patch things up or try and reach out. And there's just this like, just let it be for now. And I like seeing that a new start is coming. So we're going to jump into the tarot for you. Anything important? Ooh, a lot of things important here apparently, because a lot of my cards fell out. Anything important here for Cindy to know, Spirit, regarding that situation she's in with her person? Can I know what's going on with that? Let's see. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I have strength here. I also have that came out with strength was 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is our conflict card, right? But it seems as though like the energy here, like it seems like in the grand scheme of things, whatever this was that you're like the issue was, it's ultimately, and I'm not saying this to invalidate you or what happened or anything. I'm just saying ultimately it is not a big a deal as it feels right now. And we have the strength card being the strength of your relationship or friendship, whatever, the strength of your connection with this person is much greater than that of like a petty. And again, when I say petty, I'm not saying that to invalidate you or to belittle what happened, because I don't know what happened, right? But like just the smaller, pettier worries like that. It's like your relationship or your friendship, whatever, friendship is stronger than the conflict that you just had. I see how you both, I think, are disappointed here with our 4 of Cups and our 10 of Wands. And I get this, especially when you really care about someone, you don't want to fight with them. You really don't want to be at odds like that. And even though those kind of things are just going to happen because that is life and that's what happens when humans interact with other humans, sometimes shit hits the fan, right? But I see where it's mutual, where you both feel disappointed in maybe in each other, but I get this feeling like of both being like, oh, I really wish I'd handled that better. Or like, I wish I had not said this, or like, I really wish. One of you feels like they really wish they could have just held their tongue and not said the thing. Now that's not, I know saying said the thing, like I know that's not terribly specific, but you know what it was, you know? Maybe it was getting in that last word, whoever it was that got that last word in or got in that last dig at the other. Like, sure, that might have won you the argument, but you both realize like that was not worth it. So bottom of the deck though, don't worry, because bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Cups. There's this like outpouring of emotions. Oh, I love this. Okay. And then Ace of Swords, there's understanding. So I think that you guys do end up like apologizing to each other. Maybe you have a bit of an emotional conversation or heart to heart, but you come to some kind of an understanding based on whatever it was that happened. And yeah, Spirit's saying just don't force this to happen. You know, you and this person will come together to talk about it when you're both ready. In the meantime, it's like, don't worry. Your relationship, your friendship, whatever, your connection to each other is much stronger than the argument that you'd had. Any last words, Spirit, about this? Okay. This is very sweet. Okay. Oh, Brenda, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love this for you, though. Okay. We have the Tower. So this, whatever this conflict was, I can see how like this did feel like a really big deal. And especially if you are like, let's say you and this person are dating, because like I don't know, right? Here we go. Sorry, I just had to do a quick thing there. This is one of these like pivotal moments that ends up ultimately bringing you two closer than you were or than you would have been before that argument or before that falling out. Because now you have this clarity and understanding that comes with that comes with that. And if it's okay with you, I won't go too deep into a tangent or anything, but I do want to share, again, if it's okay, a relatable experience that I've had that might help give you a little bit of encouragement. Okay. So I have a long-term partner. He's in the other room right now. We've been together for a while. It's been about 5 years. It's been very good, right? But early in our relationship, we did have some really rocky times. We did have some, I don't know if they're like fights, but they were definitely disagreements and definitely us not understanding each other's behaviors or understanding like, why is she like this? Well, why is he like this? Like, why does she do that? Why does that bother her so much? Or like, why does he do this? Like, what is going on in his head when he does this thing? Or, whatever. And where we used to just argue about it, now we're at a point where we just flat out say, this is how it makes me feel. When you said X, Y, and Z, I interpreted as this, and this is the way it made me feel. And then, he's able to, that was not what I meant. Here instead is what I meant. Instead of letting us hold on to bitterness over misunderstandings, because sometimes the way that one of us perceived the other's behavior wasn't accurate. Like, wasn't why, okay, I'll be a little more specific. I have PTSD, right? And I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm okay talking about that and letting people know that. But there's a trigger that I have. I'm not going to say what it is, but there is a trigger that I have that in the past, my partner did not realize was a trigger. And times where he would do this thing, totally good intentions, no harm at all meant, it would really upset me. And then we'd have like I don't know, not an argument, but we'd kind of just be a little bit bickery with each other over it. But now that we have that understanding, oh yeah, this is why it's a trigger to me. This is what goes on in my brain when I see or hear whatever, this thing. And now it's like, he understands too. Like, oh, so she's not just mad at me just because it's annoying when I do this. Like, there is a reason for it. Because we were able to get that out there. And now we're able to work through these things together. And guess what? That thing that was triggering that he does, not so triggering anymore. Right? So I just want you to know that it seems from what I have here, your relationship with this person is much stronger than the fight you had or the conflict that you have. And something about this conflict and the understanding, just recapping what we've thought here, the understanding that you gain and the clarity that you gain from each other is going to bring you closer together. So this is good news. There's good news for you. So I hope that answers your question, Cindy. All right, so we got Cindy's reading done. Who is after Cindy? Janice. Okay, will you be able to read question about intuition and my mother's birthday coming up all the time? Okay. Cindy, Janice. Before I jump into yours, Janice, I am going to just make sure, see if there was anybody else with questions after you. Hello, Ken89, welcome. Yeah, you know what? That's what we'll do. We'll do Janice and then Ken89, and then I'm going to hop off for the rest of the day. Okay? Okay. So, Janice, Spirit, why is, yeah, because we did talk about like the synchronicities where you're like, when you're thinking about something or whatever, you end up like hearing it talked about later, or you ended up like seeing it pop up in your life or in your environment later. So let's look at what's going on with that. And then in the meantime, Ken89, you can put your question in the chat. And then, yeah, after Ken89's question, then we'll close the queue, okay? So Janice, what is with all of these synchronicities that Janice is experiencing when she thinks about her mother and mother's birthday? Okay. What's going on there? Interesting. Okay. So the first thing I have for you, Janice, is that it's almost like it's I don't know if like being tested is like the best way to word this, but that's the best description I have for it right now. You are being tested. It's Spirit testing how well you can pick up these messages and these like synchronicities and stuff in Spirit, despite the other mental chatter in your mind. Okay? Because sometimes we totally ignore our intuition or our higher self, or we completely ignore spiritual messages because our brains are just too busy focusing on other things and doing other work. And, oh, no, it could have been nothing. I could have just dreamed about it, and that's why I'm thinking about it. Or I could have just heard it on the radio this morning in passing and forgot all about it, whatever. This is Spirit showing you that, yeah, I love this. It's like training. I get that word training, where they like up the challenge mode. So this is good though. It's showing that you are actually becoming much better at picking up on spiritual messages, cues, synchronicities, and not just misattributing them to other stuff that's happening in your life or in your environment at that time. And we have the star here because it's like you're leveling up. They're congratulating you. They're like, you are getting so much better at this. It's like you're getting so good at receiving these divine messages. So if you have been trying to work on your psychic skills, this is Spirit being like, if you're wondering if you're good at this, yes. And it's a skill. It's like any other skill, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to learn, or it takes a lot of practice. Just because something is hard doesn't mean you're not good at it. It just means it's hard sometimes. But yeah, Spirit's like, you are very connected, and like they're happy to work with you and work through you. Okay. They needed to test your tolerance, I think, for interference. Do you know what I mean? And test and like just kind of help confirm that you are still able to get these messages and feel their significance, even though there's other stuff happening in your mind or in your environment. Okay, so let's see what else. I'm not keeping all those that fell out, but I'll keep one that fell out. So what is it about mom's birthday then? And the synchronicity about mom and mom's birthday? Is your mom still on Earth or is she on the other side? I'm just curious. The energy is like for either one is quite the same, but it's a little bit of context that might help me understand a bit better. Because I have 8 of Cups, and this is often referring to somebody who has left or a card of leaving. But they are still like on your mind. I'm seeing just something like being like injected, into your thoughts, like this person's presence, or like they're thinking about you, and for whatever reason that kind of like you start to think about them because it just their energy kind of just gets, again with the word, injected, just like right into your awareness, into your consciousness. 5 of Wands, struggle, or like a conflict, perhaps an inner conflict. Excuse me. It could be here, like if your mom is still, on Earth incarnate, this could just be referring to you haven't seen each other in a while. Maybe your most recent conversations, maybe there was a bit of a struggle here, a bit of like a small conflict. Doesn't feel like it was anything like earth shattering, or you just have some kind of mixed mixed feelings about something that went on, or a situation that went on regarding her, and like the circumstances maybe around the last time you saw her. But again, like if she is on the other side now, it could just be you struggling with the grief and with the missing her and stuff. Because it feels as though like somebody, it's the same kind of energy as like, you don't really see or talk to somebody anymore. And you struggle with like your feelings about that, or, with like, well, could I have done something else, or could I have done something differently? Or, just there's all these, I'm picking up like you have a lot of what ifs regarding her. Anyway, long story short, Page of Swords is because like she's thinking about you too. And that goes whether she is earth side or spirit side, because on the other side, they do still think about us. Anyway, either way. So what should Janice do? What should Janice do about this, if anything? Temperance, fostering healing, and like allowing something to just take time, allowing a process to take time. And, again, like if let's say your mom's on the other side, she loves you, she's thinking about you, even though she cannot physically be there with you. She wants you to know that, that she's still there, and that, she still thinks about you. And there's just this, it's okay to take your time with healing. And now, even if she's not on the other side, right? Like, even if she's here and you just don't really see her, communicate with her a lot, there's still some healing here for you. Whether it's, healing with that relationship, or healing yourself, having forgiveness for yourself or for her, or for something to do with your connection to each other, your relationship to each other. There is this mutual desire for, for healing, and just for things to get better for you. Okay. Also, with the temperance, this does have to do with like slow movement sometimes, and good things taking time and important processes taking time. Have some patience for yourself with this, especially if you are trying to develop your psychic skills. It's okay if it takes a little while to consistently get messages, or if it takes a little while for your confidence. Oh, she is on the other side. Okay. That's kind of what that is what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it just in case I was misinterpreting. But yeah, she still thinks about you. And just because her body, or, just because she's not living in her body anymore doesn't mean that she's not still alive, doesn't mean that she's not still around. And she still thinks about you, and she still loves you, and it's okay to take your time with your healing process, with your learning process. Just give yourself some grace. All right. Any last things? Oh, let's do a moonology for Janice before we move on to Kina 89. Let's do a moonology. Any last words of information, comfort, advice for Janice? First of all, I always think about you. I'm always thinking about you. When you were a child, I'm seeing something about like when you were a child in school and you were away, maybe when you were very young, when you're really, really young, like kindergarten, grade 1, and it's kind of hard being away from mom and dad, and you miss them while you're at school and you're thinking about them. She was thinking about you too, and was excited, for when you would come home, and knew that you were okay. But, it's like, just, like the times where you were apart from each other, she was thinking about you. And like I said, with her being on the other side, she still thinks about you. So, any last info? Oop, slap myself in the face with my cards. Wake up. Okay, we're totally good. We got, as far as developing your psychic skills, should that be something you're interested in doing, of course, that is totally up to you. We have your dreams need a practical plan. So this could mean perhaps you just need to look up, research different ways to work on these psychic skills, because methods that work for one person might not work for someone else, and you will find something that resonates with you. Like I'm getting, like, you will find a teacher whose methods resonate with you, and that can be in person, it can be online, it can be somebody on YouTube. Practical plan. I think the practical part here is just giving yourself patience and understanding that this can take time, and that you may not immediately become successful with it. Doesn't mean you won't be successful with it, because I think you will. We saw that star card earlier where it's like you are actually an excellent channel. And then we have hold your vision. So it's like, don't give up. Like, again, should you choose to pursue developing your psychic skills, it's like, just keep looking at what the goal is. And again, with that, like, eyes on the prize kind of thing, because you will get there with those skills. Just give yourself some grace and allow yourself some time to learn it at your own pace. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Janice. I really hope that was helpful. I hope that I see where you said hard childhood in the chat. I hope that you've been okay and doing well in life, and I hope that you are happy and safe and are in a good place now. All right, so last but not least, we have Kenai 89. Kenai 89 is asking, I want to know how attractive my current proposal is to the new CEO of my client. Oh, okay, so we're continuing on from was it Wednesday or was it last Sunday? Anyways. Client who is widely known as super crazy and unpredictable. There are mixed, contradicted news about his view on this. Okay, so what does your client think of your current proposal? or to the new CEO of your client. Is the CEO known for being unpredictable, or is it your client that's known for being unpredictable? Either way, we can still get a look at this. CEO. Okay, all right. So CEO, how does Kenai 89's current proposal look to the new CEO? All right, let's see. This is really interesting. Now, again, I'm not a medical professional. I do not diagnose. I don't have that ability. However, I will say I would not be surprised if this CEO actually functions with ADHD, because I'm getting something about interest-based. That's kind of how they, like, how much priority they give to things and how important they do tasks and stuff based on interest. And it seems as though he or she, I feel like the feminine energy. So just for the purposes of this reading, I'm going to refer to the CEO as she. She is very interested in what you have to offer. And like I said, because she seems to operate from like an interest-based, I'm just going to call it like an interest-based, people with ADHD tend to have what they call an interest-based nervous system, where when it's something they care about and literally find interesting and want to do, they can sink all of their time and attention and focus into that. CEO seems a little bit like this too. There's like scatterbrain energy with this person. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that she should probably get under control if she wants to, be a more effective CEO. Now, that's not really our business and not our responsibility, but she's interested in what you have and wants to very quickly get to work on it and be able to take a look at it. 8 of Wands and Knight of Swords are all about that very quick movement. I wonder if there are other things that are kind of on her plate. I get the word docket, that she's kind of rushing through right now because she wants to get to your proposal. Okay. She's going to try and find a way. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this person does have attention deficit disorder, because it seems as though she wants to try and multitask when sometimes we get better results when we just focus on one thing at a time. But I think she's bored of whatever it is she's currently focusing on, or tired of whatever it is that's been currently on her plate that she's been working on. Now she wants to add your thing to it. With our 2 of Pentacles, I'm seeing she's got kind of 2 jobs, 2 tasks going. 2 of Wands is also she's looking at what you have and is okay, well, how am I going to be able to fit that into my schedule so that I can work on this and this at the same time? So I like seeing that she likes what you have to offer. But her executive functioning skills are not your responsibility, okay? And I feel okay saying this, that I wouldn't be surprised if she has an ADHD brain, because I do as well. And this is how I know. And that's kind of what gave me I kind of clocked that, feeling that energy from her. So when I say this stuff, I'm not just talking out of my butt. I do know. I do understand. So, let's see. And I have been referring to the CEO as she. The gender, not really important. CEO could be a he. It's just I was picking up feminine energy here. Anything else to know for Kenai 89? Yeah, once she, again, or he, whatever, but once she makes up her mind about how she's going to go about doing this work with you and how she's going to balance her schedule and balance everything that she has been wanting to do, I do think that there's this like within, I'm seeing it as in like within like a month or so, reaching out, she will have a lot more mental bandwidth, I think, in a month. I think that's when she kind of gets whatever the main thing she's working on right now. I think that's when she gets the bulk of it done, or like the hardest part done. And then we'll have a little bit extra time to work on your thing on the side. And then just estimating timing could be something that you and her collaborate with, or she works with you or whatever over the course of the next 5 months as a timing estimate. Bottom of the deck, I have 6 of Wands. Like there's a successful outcome here for you. So I just want to double check what's going on with this success. What is it that becomes so successful? Or is it simply Key 99 getting what they want? Ooh. Like a good working connection, like you're networking, like you have a new contact, you have a new, this is good. This is, yeah, it's good because I don't know exactly what it is that you do for your work, but it's always good to have connections, and it's always good to know somebody who knows somebody, you know what I mean? Yeah, working together with this person, you will have a very good, like a working relationship. And then just bottom of the deck again with our strength card, like I think that you two will actually mesh well together, working together. Now that could just be collaborating, like on whether that's in person or online or on the phone or whatever, but yeah, like you will actually have a very good working relationship. And I do see opportunities for you to continue either working with this person in the future, or for this person to reach out to you again in the future. So this looks really good. So I hope that it all works out for you, Key 99. But just remember that any scatterbrainedness or disorganization on her part, that's not your responsibility. It's not for you to worry about. Okay? All right. So that's what I have. Now, yeah, Key 99, you were the last reading on my list. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I am going to hop off now for the afternoon. Also, hello to Vivian I know you just joined right at the end of my stream, but thank you so much for popping in. Thank you to everybody in the chat for participating, and thank you guys for all of your support in the many ways in which you provide it to me. And thank you to my moderators for being so helpful and being so good about keeping our chat safe, and for keeping everybody who's participating in the stream, keeping us all safe and secure and helping us to have the best experience we can. All right. So that's what I have for you guys. I do plan to come back on Wednesday. I've been wanting to make another tarot video. My last pick a card only got 76 views. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I don't want to get into conspiracy. I did mention something in one of the piles that maybe Google doesn't want, getting out there, maybe wanted to suppress, but let me know if you do want to see more pick a card readings, or if there are any other types of videos you would like me to see. I do want to continue making shorts. I have so much fun with that. I have been working on content for a second channel that I have, not related to spiritual stuff at all. The other channel is called Rosie, just Rosie, Rosie. And I will be talking about shows and mental health and I don't know, other stuff like that. So I've been quite busy with that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, night, weekend, week, whatever. Okay. And I'm going to see you again next time.